Brandon,
Yeah.
you cursed the Packers.
Oh, not me. The wheel did. Let's be clear.
And I told you on Monday night on Twitter that the curse wheel would burn. What did you say?
You can't burn it.
You don't think
It
so,
will
huh?
not. It will not allow you to do that, Tom.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I see, Brandon, the problem is I think you're underestimating the power of the posse. Curse my team again, it gets burned.
Oh, that's brilliant. Love it. Had no idea that happened.
Oh, baby. We here.
We stay.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is G-P-S.
When did that happen? When was this
So-
executed?
As soon as because Monday I was up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And then we had our little interaction on Twitter before that. And I was like, if I could get this done and Perna have no idea. So I texted Jess at 11:50 in the morning yesterday and said, Jess, very random request and no pressure whatsoever. Would it be possible to take a picture holding either a lighter or a knife near the curse wheel? And she goes, this is the only lighter I have, which is a Broncos lighter.
Hell yeah, baby.
And so then Jess came in so clutch. So clutch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She even smartly put the wheel back on the floor where I store it.
That's she's like, all right, I'll just do it when Perna's not around. So I'm just saying, the posse, they have people everywhere.
Yeah, she had to wait. She must have done that after I went to bed because not around, I'm always down here. There's like
Were you
not a
pooping?
good time.
Did you poop yesterday?
Yeah, but that would have been before you texted her.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't do an afternoon poop?
No.
Oh, no afternoon poop.
No.
Okay.
And then we all went to dinner. Like there was just not a maybe when I showered, maybe that's when she snuck down here.
What time was that?
Probably like 4-ish, 4:30, between 4 and 4:30.
I got it at 5:03 yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So when I showered, she snuck down here. That's when it happened. Oh,
that's a great. It'd probably be red for all the evil that it contains. But
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, Tom's a multi. I get my poops done in the morning
Yeah.
usually, but folks, we have a lot to talk about today. Brandon Perna not only cursing the Eagles, and they lost on Sunday night,
They got their
but
ass
also
kicked.
cursing the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. And now you have Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito as the players of the week.
Mamma mia. I love it, Tom. I love it. Before we get into it, I got to ask you, do I look pretty, Tom? Do I look pretty?
No.
How about now?
No. I know. I did see that. That was very nice. Did Carmi give
So
that to you?
adorable. Carmi said, I want to make you pretty this morning, Daddy. So she put this in and she goes, you got to keep that in all day.
All right. That's the deal now.
I said, all right.
Why isn't it more front and center?
That's where she put it. I
Okay.
ain't going to change it.
That's fair.
I'm going to make you pretty, Daddy. Now stay this way all day.
Yeah, basically said you need to clean yourself up because you're looking. Did you get a haircut?
No.
Yeah, it's still a little bit long. I'm getting mine tomorrow if you want to sync up.
Yeah, I need to get one.
Yeah, I'm going to get that. Maybe. Yeah, we need to talk about that Packers game. And I feel like because there was 2 Monday Night Football games on, I feel like it hasn't really been talked about enough, that Dolphins-Titans game. Because, like, that was a historical, epic collapse by the Dolphins. Sorry, Dolphins fans. Dude, last, 3 minutes of the game, they're up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about that.
Because you saw about the misleading stat there, and you're just like, Well, wait a minute there.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. It is like you
It
should
was
not
bad.
give up 2 touchdowns at the end of the game to
Yeah, it was
lose.
bad.
Okay, I'm not like the reason I don't think it's a historic collapse is the Titans are just such a weird team,
They are.
and they're a team you don't want to play. They are
Sorry, Ben.
physically dominant on defense. They will just assault you up front. So that's just a tough matchup, especially for the Dolphins, whose offensive line is in shambles.
Yep.
Now they lose their center, Connor Williams.
McGregor.
What's his name? Connor. They lose their center, Connor. ACL done for the season. So they're getting more unhealthy up front. They were without Jalen Phillips, and I was like, this you're kind of noticing it in this game. And I got a rare prediction correct. I said, maybe they bring in, if they need edge rush help, maybe they bring back Melvin Ingram. Signed him today.
There you go.
So I think the Dolphins are going to get over criticized for that loss. And I think the Titans probably won't get enough credit for being just the Titans. And now Will Levis starting to play some fun football. But that stat drove me a little nuts, Tom. Maybe a little cuckoo. And it's because they got the ball back with 4 minutes and like 25 seconds left in the game. They drove down the field and they just happened to throw the touchdown pass right under the 3-minute mark.
Yeah.
So it works. Okay. For the stat, yes.
The worst
right at the top there. And basically then they had they forced a 3 and out. They scored another touchdown. Don't want to do that. But the way it's presented, it makes it sound like the Titans scored 2 touchdowns in that 3-minute span with like 2 full possessions just in that little time. And it was a little longer than that. That's
the Dolphins though, like, dude, like they got the ball back. Like that's what I mean. Like it is a collapse for them. And dude, Tyreek Hill going down, and you just saw like how much he means to that offense. And the Dolphins got banged up on Monday night, right? Like a bunch of guys got
It was
banged
like
up.
the first like 10 plays. It was like another Dolphin was hurt every time.
Yeah,
and most of the guys came back in, but you're right. They got punched in the mouth.
Yeah, it was crazy because I had to go back and I caught the end of that game because the Giants-Packers game was over by that time. I feel like for Dolphins fans, like this has to be so concerning because it's every freaking December. It's every December. As soon as December hits, like Dolphins go in meltdown mode. And I thought like this year maybe it'd be different, but then I think that's what a lot of fans think every single year. But dude, like there's concern, and the Bills are playing the Cowboys this week. If the Bills are able to pull off that monumental upset, watch out, because then like the Bills could come out of nowhere and they can win the division.
Yeah, and I think the Bills might get a win there. Only for the reason that everybody now agrees that the Cowboys are good. Nobody's saying they're frauds. And since we're all in on the Cowboys, feels like they're about to
gonna lose.
They're about to lose.
Perna did a test spin, and guess what it landed on? The Green Bay effing Packers.
It wasn't a test spin. It was for a bit. It was for a joke. It's talking about how sometimes I just hear the sound of that spinning wheel. Landed on 10. Packers lost.
It's a horrible bit, and I hated it. Yeah, we could talk about that.
Yeah. One thing I do not like double Monday Night Football this late in the season.
It is so dumb. The double box was horrible.
I like the double box because I want to see both fucking games.
Yeah,
but
I hated it.
The fact that
it's too small.
I couldn't focus on one game.
Yeah.
At a point in the season where I really want to try and like get some takeaways from the teams playing. Not a fan of it. If you're gonna do it, stack them. So one goes early, the other goes late. Like I started watching Dolphins Titans more, and then they kept getting injured, so I kept going to Giants Packers. Packers kept turning the ball over.
Yes.
And early Tommy DeVito, like I was like, he's missing some throws he should be making. But then I watched, I went all in on Packers Giants, and it was because Tommy DeVito, and I found myself rooting pretty hard against the Packers just for the Tommy DeVito story. We all got swept up in it, Tom. We all got swept up in Tommy Cutlets. No offense to the Packers, no offense, guys, but your cheese, it ain't mozzarella. All right.
It ain't Moats.
It's stinky fucking cheddar cheese, and we don't want none of it here in Tommy DeVito land. None of it. But
I like grew up with those people, by the way. Like that, like New
I know.
Jersey Italian, like Long Island. It's just I know there are slight differences between Long Island Italian and New Jersey Italian, and then like New York Italian. But yeah, no, the agent. Oh my god, like I don't care what if it's a bit. I don't care. The fact that it got on national television, like I was just like, yep.
Not a bit. He's done
get it.
a couple podcasts since and has talked extensively about his suit collection and like all this stuff. It's great.
Hey, you work for two of them.
You better watch it, Johnny.
And you talk about the eye thighs like that, we're going to have a problem. Just a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit.
We'll never see Johnny barks again.
And no, he's not going to be barking no more.
Meowing like a little.
But yeah, no, so the Packers suck on Monday night. Like, dude, it was everything. Jordan Love didn't look good for a while. And then on top, I mean, he had that clutch drive at the end, which was really good. That's good to see. Malik Heath, like, getting the touchdown, but then it got batted down, and then catching, like, another great one. Yeah, Love struggled. The receivers were on the same page. Run game wasn't that great, except Patrick Taylor. Defense, dude, how many times have the Giants, like, allowed sacks this year? Like, 60? And we didn't get a single sack? Not one. Our pass rush, we sacked Patrick Mahomes 3 times.
Yeah.
But we couldn't sack Tommy DeVito once.
Yeah,
Not once.
well, hey.
And special teams was garbage too. So like
that's because Patrick Mahomes sucks and Tommy DeVito's great. That's why.
Is that what it is? Dude, so that's the crazy thing too. If we want to talk about real quick, it was right at the line of scrimmage. It was like lost in guard. That barely even counts. But dude, Ravens, we talked about them on Monday. Good game against the Rams, but they could go to the Super Bowl. They'll lose to the 49ers probably. I am like just flabbergasted how the Packers could look great for a month and then just like everything looks bad. Like special teams is bad, defense is bad, offense is bad. And they regress to the point where they have been missing guys. They've been missing Luke Musgrave. Jair's been out. Quay Walker was out. Aaron Jones is out. And now Christian Watson's out. And it's just like maybe that was just a little too much. Like a little bit of too much. But that doesn't excuse the terrible pass rush.
When you're in the process of working with a young QB, you're developing, and you lose that many guys, it's hard to overcome. So I don't fault Jordan Love for that. But also, like, the Giants have a good defense.
They do.
It got lost because I thought early in the season their defense looked like really good. And just so much focus was on them losing in horrific fashion and Daniel Jones, like, not being good at all and their line being so banged up. Like, that's a tough defense too. And I think it just the last 3 weeks where they've been winning, that's been why. And also you got like Tommy DeVito playing just kind of fun football. He's not making mistakes. It's not like he's lighting up secondaries, like torching them with his arm. He's making some plays with his legs. He's not turning the ball over. He's giving his team a chance to win, and they're doing it. And it's like when you see a guy like Tommy DeVito out there running around, netting like 70 rushing yards, it just goes back to like where I see like Justin Fields been hurt, but like Bills, like Josh Allen's got like 300 or 400 rushing yards. I want to see him having like 600 or 700 closer to Lamar. Like, I just think that's so effective. And it seems like this year teams have tried to have their QBs run less, and I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
I know why. I mean, it's because you got Will Levis on the flip side dropping his shoulder out there.
To Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, like Mike Vrabel saying like, yeah, we're trying to coach that out of his game. But
did you see that? They showed him like how to slide. So next week they're going to show him just like QBs getting their ass hit, like just getting lit up. And now they're going to try to convince him to slide that way because Will Levis don't want to slide. Dylan, I'd probably say tag us on Twitter, probably.
Yeah, tag us on Twitter. Tag Johnny Barks. I remember talking about Jim Bob Cooter a couple times.
Back in the day. Dude, yeah, I mean, the Giants, this is how nuts it is. The Giants are like, they could still make the postseason.
I know.
So they're playing the Saints.
Spoiler alert, they might be my power rankings.
It was a sad week for the NFC North. The Bears won, right? They beat the Lions. So the Lions lost. The Packers lost to the Giants. And the Vikings, they won 3-0 against the Raiders. And now Joshua Dobbs is benched. Nick Mullins is going to start. So, like, no one's really happy in the North except the Bears.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, what this football season's been strange.
He has not, Kevin. He has not. Oh, wait.
Because of all the
Love. You got Love wrong.
What's that?
Because you got Love
Yeah, I
wrong.
know. Fucking Love.
Good.
Love
Good.
hurts.
Good.
Love hurts.
Good.
I got them all. I had Tommy D on there.
KK, believe in yourself, all right? And we're both Italian, so it works out. It works out. We get to celebrate our people.
That's right. Nobody loves being Italian more and talking about being Italian more than the Italians. Okay, that's a middle North American Italian struggling with a Wisconsin accent and an Italian accent.
That's fair. Well, if you hear my father talk, he has a very thick New York accent, and I sound like a Muppet. I don't know what happened there, but it's fine. And that is very possible. Yeah, I think they have to beat the Browns first, but we shall see. You were saying?
But, like, here's what's crazy. So we've seen Josh Dobbs rip off some wins.
Yep.
Jake Browning, Tommy DeVito. We've had, like, all these bad quarterback injuries, but Gardner Minshew with the Colts. These backups have come in and they've won games for their team. They've helped their teams win games. And it's turned what should be just an atrocious football viewing experience into something that's been surprising and fun, right? Like, we've written off the Bengals, but now they're back in it. Yep. The Giants, they're pretty much written off, but the fact that they've won 3 in a row, the fact that, like, Tommy DeVito's got a passer rating above 100 in 3 straight games, which has never happened for an undrafted rookie quarterback. Yeah. Like, there's some fun, crazy thing. And Josh Dobbs, he's got benched this week. They're starting Nick Mullins, but, like, he was fun for the Cardinals for a bit and for the Vikings for a bit. So at least when some of these premier QBs have gone down, like, something's happened that's been, I don't know, fun to watch. It's surprising. Like, I think that's what makes the NFL fun.
So I was texting with a buddy yesterday too, and he's a Giants fan because I got to tell you, losing to the Giants, which the Packers do often, sucks so much. Being a Packers fan in New York, it sucks. I hate it because everyone around here is a Giants fan. Everybody. I didn't see my neighbor yesterday. Thank God, when I was walking the dog. Huge Giants fan. I'm dread because this past week, like, I was walking the dog and because I wear like a big Packers jacket when I'm outside and it's cold, and he pulls up and he's just like, "So you got nothing to worry about, huh? Beating the Chiefs." I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be bad when I see him. It is going to be very, very. I need to move into the remote wilderness away from Giants fans so they can never hurt me again." That's what needs to happen. But I mean, like, it's fun to see. But I'm sorry. So I was texting with a buddy yesterday, and he was basically saying, like, everybody sucks this year. And I was like, yeah, there's, like, that way to look at it. I'd say, like, the overall team play has definitely been down, right, in terms of, like, the product. However, this is just why I am more and more excited for the postseason. Because why not? Dude, like, anybody. Legit, the Titans can beat the Dolphins, right? The Giants can beat the Packers. Like, all this stuff can happen. And when we get to the postseason, I have no idea. Because the 49ers seem like the foregone best team in the league. But who knows? Like, you never know. And I'd be, like, even a little disappointed if, like, the 49ers just, like, walk to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
It is. It is.
It'll be interesting once the playoffs actually start. It'll be interesting at who the hell even gets in there.
AFC's a mess. NFC's a mess.
But again, you and I have had very similar experiences this season, Tom.
Yes.
Like, the Broncos lost to the Texans, same as the Packers lost to the Giants. Yeah. Now, the Texans were considered a better team, but you're just on the roll. You're just really starting to believe and buy in again, and then you got a bit of a reality check. Like, okay, we're still beatable. We can still lose.
Yep.
And we still got a dogfight to get in the playoffs. Are the Packers, are they out now? Are
No,
they
they're in the
out?
7th seed still.
They're in
'Cause
the
they
7th seed, so you're
they
in a
beat the
little bit better
Rams.
position. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're still in the 7th. And that's the thing too. Like they got the Buccaneers, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears. They're winnable games, and they win, they're in. Like they're in
Yeah.
complete control of their own fate. So
Bucks and Bears probably be the tricky
Bucks are going to be
ones there.
tough. Bucks are going to be tough. We'll see what happens with Justin Jefferson too, and see if he comes back. But yeah, it's going to be bad. Oh, that is oh. Yeah, no, this is no good. It's no good.
I would not.
But yeah, so crazy damn games this past week, and now Justin Herbert confirmed to be out for the season, which just sucks, man. I mean, good for him to rest up, and I feel like Chargers fans are like, this season has been so bad, because it has. It's been like really, really bad for Chargers fans. And now maybe there's like a glimmer, okay, of like Justin Herbert, heal up, and please, for the love of God, Brandon Staley can't hide no more. He can't hide, but maybe Easton Stick is going to go on like a run. Or
does he hide behind the fact that they lost their starting QB? That's been like both this year and last year. The issue with Herbert were injuries, right? So last year he played through the rib cartilage fractures or whatever the hell they are. And then he broke his finger on his non-throwing hand this season, which you can play through, but it affects like,
are
you going to fall and do some other things? And then he breaks his other finger. So yeah, I don't think he's been able to play up to his potential because of some injuries. Funny though, how, everybody blamed all of the Chargers problems on, who was their offensive coordinator? Oh God.
Dick Van Dyke.
Who was that Lombardi guy?
Joe Lombardi.
That's now here in Denver with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, and the Broncos offense is resurrected. Oh God, Joe Lombardi, what a jerkwad.
What are you saying resurrected? You literally said on Monday, you're like, yeah, they're consistent.
Hey, we are getting the best out of Russ, and I'm going to give all the credit to Joe Lombardi in this very moment to just say, suck it, Chargers. Scapegoating your OC. Oh, somehow he can't work with Herbert, but he can make Russell Wilson have 23 touchdown passes or whatever. Okay.
This was interesting because yesterday...
I want to talk about this.
Yeah, so it was tweeted out yesterday that it was kind of like confirmed that they're moving on, and then they backpedaled hard to lead that. And then I was like, well, it's just rumors. Apparently, ever since the Germany game, like there's rumors that his fate has already been decided, but now they're throwing an extra twist. They're like, but people are just talking. Yeah. I feel like there hasn't been a substantial development in this story. I feel like we're kind of around where we were. It just seems like maybe those conversations are a little bit more real.
Yeah, I didn't believe this at all, really, because of all the places I saw like recycling the thing.
Yep.
But the original one came from Tom Curran, right? And he's worked in and around the Patriots, reporting on them for a long time. I don't know if he's radio or I forget what Tommy Curran does. So I think like if he was the one who originally put it out, there's probably something there. And then I watched Dave Portnoy talk about it because I'm like, if somebody's gonna have like a good thought on it, it would probably be Portnoy because he's so close to the Patriots, right? And it seems like he thinks it's gonna happen. Still, like maybe it doesn't, but like. It's probably time to actually believe that there's a good chance Bill Belichick's coaching his last games with the Patriots. I don't think it's 100% certain. I don't feel like Robert Kraft would have made that decision after that game and then told people he made that decision. Definitely. Doesn't seem like something Kraft would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something I really want to talk about that I just remembered too. Hold on one second. Scott Winnipeg! Boop for the kitty. Saints definitely could. Saints could definitely make it in because the NFC North is a complete and total dumpster fire. So, would not be surprised whatsoever.
Johnny John!
Woo! The pride that you must have.
Let me tell you.
Appreciate you, Scott.
Every man who wants to be a father should have a daughter. It'll just make you better in so many ways.
I don't think we do yet. D'Amico, I think, is on there. He's probably mine for right this second. It'd probably be D'Amico Ryan. So there was a moment, and it was actually called out, and then it kind of died down a little bit. I think it was on Saturday because it was during college game day, where because Belichick was on it.
Yeah,
And
for
Robert
Army
Kraft
Navy,
was
right?
on it, and Belichick is talking to Kraft, and I'm sorry, not Belichick. I'm sorry, McAfee's talking to Kraft and says like, we kind of all know what's about to happen, and it's a tough decision, and I was like, that's odd. Like, okay, so that I'm wondering, like, is that something that is like just generally known now, or is that just an assumption from Pat? Like that I thought was like really weird because Kraft is kind of just like nodding and like going along with it.
Yeah,
But
he said something about like we got to get back to winning, and
yes,
some cliche shit an owner kind of has to say. And there's always just this time where you're with a successful person, whether that's like a coach or your star player, quarterback, or whatever. And the Patriots did it with Brady. You get to a point where you think it's just probably better for us to move on, better for both parties to move on. And that's probably where they're at with Belichick.
It might be Steelers and Tomlin too. Like, again, it's like Tomlin's a great coach. And I think like Belichick's a great coach too. But like McCarthy, who's lighting it up in Dallas right now, it got that way with the Packers. It was just like, it was too much of the same thing for too long. And like, you know what? Like, it's time to.
It happened with Mike
different.
Shanahan in Denver. It was the wrong decision, but it happened.
Yeah.
But like the caveat there is, well, one, like Belichick's gonna go down as like the best coach in NFL history, or arguably like top 3 for the nerds who want to put like, I don't know, Shula in there, whoever. Sorry, Dolphins fans. But like, he's good. Yeah. So letting him go, you're losing a very good head coach.
Yes.
But no head coach is that good if they don't have a fucking quarterback. So
sure.
Like Mike McCarthy went to Dallas smartly because he has a good quarterback there in Dak Prescott, right? Mike Tomlin, I still think is a very good head coach, but since Roethlisberger left, they haven't found the guy. And the Pickett goes down. They got Mitch Trubisky coming in. Trubisky has not been as good as Jake Browning. He's been no Tommy DeVito, and he's been in the league longer. So that's like, do you move on from your coach, or do you just be patient and wait until you find that next quarterback or make a move to get a QB?
But that's the thing too. Like, this isn't a multi-year plan. And what I mean by that is like, they're going to have one of the top picks in the draft. So like they could go get a quarterback. So
The
that's
Patriots
why, like,
can, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So like, that's why I'm still on the fence. I'm like, I don't even know if he goes because
I
like,
wouldn't.
because it's like, hey, pick your guy. Who do you want? If you bust on him, then you're out. Then it's done.
Yeah. I think the question though is like, because they'll take a quarterback and maybe, like I said, they got to bring in somebody that's not Bill O'Brien, right? You want like a younger, nice OC. But seeing the way like Bailey Zappi reacted with Bill O'Brien in the locker room after the game, it's like maybe Mac Jones just isn't that good. Maybe Bill O'Brien still is a good coordinator. Zappi liked him. And then the way he reacted to Belichick, like you saw that clip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like all happy, and then he just like business was Belichick. And I forget who was talking about it. It's like Belichick has failed to adapt without Tom Brady. Like he can't run the team the way he did with Brady. That like hard ass, like they were able to get away with it because Tom bought into that. And so everybody bought in.
Everybody bought in.
And if you've got a young quarterback and you're trying to do that culture, it's not working. And maybe like Matt Patricia leaving, we saw him try to be the same dude somewhere else. Doesn't work. Josh McDaniels tries to be that guy.
Doesn't
work. So maybe it is time to just move on from Belichick.
Maybe it's just a culture thing in like 2023. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's the thing. If he does leave, I think he might retire, but I would want him to go coach somewhere else. I
think he'll die coaching, honestly. Like, what's he going to do if he's not coaching?
That's true. I think the Lions still win its gut. I think the Lions will win it.
I feel like Belichick will have to be like dragged off a football field. Like
That's fair.
they're like, you are literally having a heart attack, Belichick, and it's like, no, I can call one more player.
And you know what? Still have a top 10 defense.
We're going to win the
Still have a
field
top 10
position
defense.
battle. We got our left-footed punter. We're going to make a. Okay, wait, I'm ready to go back out there, guys.
Just gas, and it happens.
No, it's a heart attack.
Jesus. Bill to the Chargers would be interesting. I know that's like the rumor. That'd be interesting. I don't know, like, if you want to talk about culture shifts, can you imagine Bill Belichick in Los Angeles, like hanging out in California? That could be like the greatest thing. And going to Justin Herbert, like Surfer Man, like president of the fishing club, and being like, we are going to run this so strict. Or maybe Bill
West
Belichick.
Coast Belichick in the house.
Dude, imagine him just in shorts the entire time. He's like shorts, sunglasses.
He's always tan. He's always just tan and sunglasses.
Maybe.
He starts throwing like surfing lingo into his press conferences.
He's just like, yeah. He's
we're
like,
gonna
Belichick,
shred him.
how'd you get the team prepared? Yeah, we were surfing some big waves before Manhattan
Community
Beach, and
building
then
at the Venice Beach. Caught a couple waves and
Yep.
I hung 10.
The GM is bad. Well, but that's what Perna and I have been saying basically all year. But it's like, will Belichick give up the GM position? Probably not. Now, would there be a team out there that would give him both? Ooh.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, would he be willing to accept not having that control?
Yeah.
That's what we don't know. And that could be like the biggest reason Kraft is like, it's time to go, because Bill doesn't want to give that up. And I think it was Coleman tweeted out like,
yes,
the downfall started, in Brett's opinion, when they drafted N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
When they could have had who else could they have had there? It was like AJ Brown.
They just have never gotten their wide receiver one that they've needed. Like they tried with Thornton because he's a speedster, but like they haven't. And yes, I do think if the Jaguars beat the Ravens, absolutely, that's gonna be a tough game for them. It's an important game, one that Perna and I will be streaming.
Well, that's right.
Sunday night, baby. Let's
Jags
go.
need to win bad.
Atomic cutlets. But yeah, I think ultimately like
Debo
Belichick.
Samuel, that's right. Debo, DK. We've had so many.
I don't know, man. I Belichick, it's gonna be weird. The Patriots are gonna have to make a decision, and it's gonna be might be a rough offseason. It feels like it does. I feel like the fan base is kind of like, or at least from just my purview, it's like, yeah, he does need to go, but then there is that still like holding on of being like, hey, they could get a quarterback, and then all of this could change. And their offense, let me be very clear, like they need numerous players.
Yeah.
They like that offense needs to be like scrapped. And you got to give him credit for like maintaining that defense. It's just, I don't think like Bill Belichick would go take like a defensive coordinator job anywhere. You know what I mean? I feel like he would have to be a head coach. And then I don't know, again, if he would take it without being like GM as well.
Think about it this way. I'll ask you this. Like, if you're Belichick, so you are Bill Belichick, Tom. You have the number 2 pick, okay? Or you can go work with Justin Herbert. You can go to Washington. You can work with. I like Sam Howell, but like, we'll just use Herbert because we know he's good. You have the choice as Belichick. Do you stay in New England, draft your guy, or do you go to LA to work with a veteran QB? You know, you don't have to develop, and you can just throw everything you want at him.
I think if you stay in New England, you already know everything there, right? And like the defense is almost where you want it, because like the defense is still really good. It's your guys, like you've kind of cultivated that, etc. So I think the easier thing would just be plug and play, like draft a guy, draft a QB, put him in there, and then just make him run your system. However, I think if you believe that Justin Herbert can adapt to your type of scheme and style, I think the Chargers defense has a lot of talent on it, and it has never really been utilized to where it should be. You'll have games where Khalil Mack will have like 6 sacks, right? Like he'll just like go off. You'll have like Derwin James. I still think is a great player. And I think it's interesting, like J.C. Jackson went to the Chargers, didn't work out in the Chargers, and is now back at the Patriots. Not amazing.
Yeah, I was
but
just going to say, if Belichick goes to the Chargers, do you think he trades back for J.C. Jackson?
Yeah, gets J.C. Jackson again. I think that he could transform the Chargers, their defense, to take that next step. And I think with a veteran quarterback like Herbert and with the weapons that they have, it would be a quicker, like, it would be less of a lag time between them and winning football games. But I think the comfort level would be in New England. I think it'd be a great challenge. I think Belichick would do great in LA.
I think Belichick would take the vet QB at this point.
Just
if he knew he had the Chargers gig, like, I think he's done it with Mac. I think he's just over that shit. And he is old. He's not young. He's no spring chicken. He is on his last leg of his career.
Twilight of his career.
Of his life. Like, he is going to be eating dinner at 4:30 p.m. He's probably already got his nursing home picked out. He's got his burial plots picked out. I'm saying he is old. He is an old man. And Justin Herbert can save him a lot of headache.
Dude, he's gonna be doing like he's gonna be
so old with his old balls. Happy Gilmore. His old
just
balls.
Like hanging out in California with the shorts, hanging
not
out.
Happy Gilmore. What Adam Sandler movie is that? His gross old balls. Anyway.
Kevin, I did not see that, but that's dumb. If you haven't Purdy behind Gino and like Gino or Drake May is really dumb. Like that. Let me just be very clear, folks. If you're ranking QBs before they have ever even taken a snap or even been drafted, that's even worse. There's no argument to be made. There is zero argument to be made. So, no, it's dumb. It's dumb, dumb, and dumb.
You know what? That just makes me want to outdo their quarterback power rankings.
You're gonna be like, Caleb Williams, number one right now. Number one. Definite guy.
Dude, because I feel like Drake May is the perfect Belichick QB in this draft, too.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
Well, of course I am, Scott Dehan. Mm-hmm. Scott Dehan.
Do it. Yeah, I'm Staley, the defensive mastermind. I just think ultimately, I think if you're Kraft, you give Belichick one more shot, get the QB that you want, see if you could develop him, and then have a nice day. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, we'll see. Party, want to talk MVP?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Bill Belichick going against Denver twice a year.
Dude, I mean, you'd have Sean Payton, Andy Reid, and Belichick in the same division, and then whatever fucking loser the Raiders hire, whatever coach that nobody would even think about hiring will be back for the Raiders. Ain't gonna be Antonio Pierce, ain't gonna be Rich Bisaccia. It will probably just be John Gruden again. Let's be honest, Raiders fans. It will be Gruden again.
I keep seeing those rumors. Is that like true? Like
I don't know. I miss John Gruden in football. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's paid.
He won't. No.
He's paid his price. Bring him back.
Big Daddy. That's the movie.
That's right.
That's the one.
His gross old balls.
And Pete are the same age. There you go.
Yeah, but Pete still fucks. Pete still fucks, guys.
Ooh, that's, you know what, Keontae? That's kind of a good call. Still drafts like he has Tom Brady. That's
probably.
Fair. Well, dude, like, it was like, you mentioned this, I think. Mac Jones being like the happiest dude, like after the draft. He's like walking into practice of the Patriots and gave it like, what, a week? And then he was like, yeah, so,
yeah, it was
really happy.
It was this press conference. Like, it was like a switch.
No.
Joe
Barry.
Man loved life and then had no visible signs of happiness anywhere in his being.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like, I will let Herbert be miserable if it helps him, become a winner.
But so, oh my God, because that's the fascinating thing. And I know you didn't watch it because it's Tom Brady Ganda, but like the man in the arena thing, like the way they talked about it was like your heads, like you kept your head down and you worked until you won the Super Bowl, and then you could celebrate. You weren't celebrating week to week. You weren't celebrating every victory. It was like, Keep your head down. Like,
Yeah.
here's what you did wrong. Yeah, you blew them out 49-0, but here's what you did wrong. Like, it was legit, like, and they were successful. You know, and it took Belichick a while to get back to that because they won those bunch of Super Bowls and they took a break and then they won a bunch of Super Bowls again. So I think it's possible for Belichick to do it again, but I am curious. I think the culture thing, that's a really good point you raise. I think that might be a problem in LA. I think it could be an issue. You never know. I mean, it just depends on the players and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
everybody would have to subscribe to it because if they don't, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you got to be all in. It's got to be.
Have to be.
If you don't buy in, you're gone. That's how they operate.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the MVPs. We're going to talk about them.
But I think the Chargers have enough. I think the fit for Belichick with the Chargers is really good because I think Herbert.
Here comes Guillermo.
I think Herbert would work well with Belichick. Like Herbert is. I think he's intelligent enough, and he would put winning above the other shit. Like I think those two things go. I think Keenan Allen. You've got a veteran wide receiver who's been doing it very well for a long time. The leader amongst their receivers. He'll be all in with that. Like he's not going to be fearful of like being held accountable and those things. The only thing Belichick would have to do is figure out a way to keep like Joey Bosa healthy and Derwin James playing the way he plays, but not getting penalized for, like insane hits in games. But I think there's enough pieces there. And maybe Austin Eckler decides to come back if like a guy like Belichick's there. I don't know, but I think they have the right guys there. Anyway, we do need to talk about MVPs.
Purdy got a fitty.
Oh, interested to see how he translates to. Ooh, that's interesting because he lit it up this year.
He did.
But were all his throws easy, wide open throw? Like, I want to see him go somewhere where he has a chance to develop a bit. But I think he's a really interesting prospect. I think he's going to go be the third quarterback taken right now. If the Broncos were still in the mix up there at the top, I would feel really good about them taking him because he could sit behind Russ for a year or two. He can do some of the things that Russ does well. Sean Payton, good coach there. But I don't know where he would. I got to look at the teams that might be a good fit. Speaking of.
Pretty much everybody eats bread. Pretty much everybody eats bread. This one is a little bit deflated.
Russ is back, baby.
He is. So, Perna, what are you, 0-55 now?
Fudge. Yeah.
It's close, buddy.
It was so close.
You got real close. I'm so glad that it's my quarterback, though, that wound up screwing you over.
And I knew. I was like, this is going to be close with the Giants' defense, but it was not even close.
Could have been. I see Belichick in New Orleans. Washington, I see, but I think there's too much work to be done. You know what I mean? Like Brady going to Tampa, he brought some pieces over. They drafted Tristan Wirfs, which really helped. But the defense was already incredible. They had some of the best receivers in the league. Like they were
one of the best lines in
ready to
football.
go. Yeah, Belichick needs to, I think, or would want to go. If we're talking about him in the twilight of his career, if Belichick's looking, hey, I'm gonna be gone in the next 5 years, right? Go and win. If I'm being brutally honest, a team that'd be perfect for him be the Jets. That's perfect. The defense is unstoppable. Or even the Browns, dude. The Browns would be great too. I know that Stefanski's not going anywhere, but
But the Jets aren't going to fire Saleh.
They're not. I mean, there's some fans that want that, but I'm just saying, can you imagine Bill Belichick with Aaron Rodgers? I'm just saying.
What if he went to Buffalo? What if McDermott got canned?
Dude, if they miss the playoffs, imagine, and the Bills all of a sudden are like, they literally would be the Bills. They would be the Bills because it'd be Bill Belichick running the team.
Ooh, Bills!
That's what I just said.
I know. I'm
no, it's too late now.
Putting the exclamation point on it for you, Tom.
Yeah, bro, it's so bad. It's bad, Brandon.
I'll tell you how.
It's bad.
NFL is rigged.
Got you on a fade.
NFL's
Brandon
rigged.
kidding.
That's how.
Accurate. You know what, Captain Carrot Cake, I appreciate you.
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Glory hole.
Appreciate you, Captain.
This is the wrong tab. Here we go. Let me.
All right,
update
buddy.
this.
You're owing like a cajillion. I believe in you. Maybe.
Here's the
Maybe.
problem. They don't have my NFL picks up yet here in Colorado.
Very true, SS. Very, very true. That's a good
Every
call.
state's got different regulations, different rules. Underdog does a great job working with those states to make sure you can play the most games possible. Use our code GPS when you sign up over at Underdog Fantasy.
Disclaimed.
Link in the
Disclaimed.
description. You have been
Disclaimed.
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 Legally, you have been disclaimed. Oh, we got what is it? Soccer, esports, college football.
Is there anything
Nope,
for you to
I
pick?
only got NHL right now.
All right, let's see what the...
Crosby, still good. Eric Carlson, don't trust him for a second. Cole, Nick, Suzuki, lower. I've always been a Yamaha man.
I was going to say
myself.
Yamaha guy, not a Suzuki guy.
Hmm.
Well, what about that, was that Timo? Cool name.
Ooh, Jesper Bratt. Higher for sure. The Brat Pack,
That's
baby.
Broncos colors right there.
And a Brock. We got a Brock and Broncos
Brock.
colors. Higher.
Brock will probably do well. I've actually never been more confident in a pick 'em right now for you.
What do I got to resolve here? Remove Carlson.
So unlock pick.
I got to remove Carlson?
All right, no, get rid of Crosby. Get rid of Crosby. Crosby's
One,
too well
2,
known.
3, 4. All right. I know nothing about the hockey. Let's just go 15.
1,000.
Okay. Let's go 33.
Okay.
Okay. Gotta live. Gotta live a little.
I
Boom.
don't. Yeah, I don't even.
Now, I advise you to be a little more strategic when you're doing your pick'ems. Obviously, at this point, my record of 0-53 or 54, who cares? Oh, you can still play Battle Royale, fantasy drafts this week, $5 entry. Let's sign up, baby. Boom. Now, Tyreek Hill turned out to be one of the big fantasy picks this year, delivered week after week over to guys like Justin Jefferson, who had injury problems. Christian McCaffrey, great early fantasy picks. Now that you kind of know which guys are which, play 6-person tournament. You play against the field, and in the battle royales, you got chances to win. What's their big prize right now? Ooh. 30K to first place if you can do it. So lots of fun things over
I
at
want a
Underdog
crossbow.
Fantasy. What's up?
It's a battle royale. I want a crossbow.
That's fair.
No, that's not fair. That was
If I used a
reverse
crossbow
psychology.
to pick my pick'ems, I might have a better chance.
You might have a better shot. You might.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is accurate. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Ooh, here's this
Cousin,
draft
love
starting
the
in 36
reference.
seconds.
What a fitting! Whoop, for the kitty. Let's go, baby. Let's go. God, I have to watch that again. It's been a while. It's been a while. Hold on, I got
Been a
you.
while since I said sorry.
Poser.
USA.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
USA.
Hey, appreciate you, cousin Eddie. Thank you.
I still haven't seen Kyle
Merry
Brandt
Christmas to you.
apologize to Russell Wilson, by the way. Still haven't seen that apology, Kyle. Just
Dilly dilly,
pretend it like
exactly.
you never called him a poser, huh? Now we're going to live our life over there on the NFL Network,
I mean,
Kyle?
didn't Sean Payton kind of do the same thing?
No, he never called him a poser.
I didn't say poser, but it more of just like he literally called out the Broncos and Russell Wilson for making it all about him during the offseason and trying to win the offseason last year. I'm pretty sure. Like, he said it in different words.
But he didn't say poser.
Okay, so him saying the word poser is what did it for you.
Yeah.
By the way, that is, again, it is one of the coolest freaking stories is Brandon Aubrey. Like, and it just came out too. He was on, I think, a show, and he said like his wife convinced him. He was like, yeah, like just go and try, just be an NFL kicker. Why not? Just try. Dude's like,
yeah,
perfect.
dude.
It's
insane.
amazing.
I did like for winners and losers, the Cowboys section was all Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah.
And then I had people like, why aren't you giving the Cowboys any love? Like I said he got the best kicker in the league. It's a great story.
Dude, can you imagine Bill going to Vegas?
Belichick to Vegas? No, he ain't going there.
Brady's hanging out.
First,
there.
Mark Davis can't afford him.
That's accurate.
Second, come on, guys.
Mm.
Vegas, you.
No, Zach. See, I think it's a really good point that you're making, because now we're gonna get into that MVP conversation. It's a really good point that you're making, but no, because I feel like people waking up to Dak, Cowboys fans are on it, but like, I feel like this past Sunday, people are like, oh, okay, Dak is really good. It was there last week, but it was really after they beat the Eagles. It was like, oh, okay, no, like Dak could be legit MVP, because he's been on like a tear for the past like month or so.
Yeah.
So I understand there is an internal bias against the Cowboys in the media and amongst fan bases and against Dak because, you know, he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. But no, I think Dak 1,000,000% deserves the recognition and at least deserves a nom with the way he's been playing. I personally, like, I don't think it should necessarily go to a quarterback unless
this
like,
is a year to not do it.
I feel like it shouldn't. I feel like if there's going to be two, it's either Purdy or it's Dak, and I would lean towards Dak, but I have to see what they do the rest of the year. Like these last, I think 4 games are going to do it because the Cowboys' schedule is going to get tough. So, in my humble opinion, I think it should be CMC or Tyreek Hill, and I'd probably lean towards CMC. The reason being is because I said this, I think, last GPS or one of the ones before. The fact that he had that streak of getting a touchdown in every single game, and then it was only like one game he didn't get it. Like, that is so difficult to do, and is like, that is insanely difficult. And I feel like it's like, wow, that's crazy. Yup. And you would go and like for fantasy or pick'ems, you'd be like, yup, he's gonna get a touchdown today. I feel like he was kind of taken for granted of just like how damn good he was staying healthy, especially after all the time he had in Carolina, and that was like the big knock against him. He has had an incredible season. And I think, you know, that is warranted of an MVP nom. So, what's unusual is like all the quarterbacks are hurt, and the parity in the NFL of like the amount of teams that could just be beaten any given week is higher than usual.
Yeah.
So, because like last year, you're like, okay, it's gonna be Eagles, 49ers in the NFC, the Chiefs, probably like Bengals, maybe the Bills if they weren't so banged up. This year, it's anybody's game. Shout out to you. Let's go.
I mean, there's all these like little caveats too, right?
Yes.
Like CJ Stroud, we were thinking maybe he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Loses his top 2 receivers. Tank Dell done for the season. Nico Collins has a calf injury, and we know based from Joe Burrow that's don't take a calf injury lightly. Dak leads the league in touchdown passes, right?
Yep.
Brock Purdy's playing out of his mind.
Yep.
Tua was there, but now Tyreek Hill gets hurt, okay? We were talking about Tyreek Hill as possible MVP. Now, it's an ankle thing. He's questionable this week. But, like, before he got injured, we were talking about Tyreek has a legit chance to break the 2,000-yard mark as a receiver, right?
Yep.
And possibly he could do it in 16 games. I don't know the extent of the ankle injury. Like, I just want to hear more about it.
Sure.
He can play through it. He played through the pain. Like you said, it hurt pretty bad, but his wife called him out in a text, so he decided to go back in or some shit. But like that might just slow him down. Like, I don't doubt that he can play through it, but I think it slows him down just a tiny bit. And now I'm uncertain whether he can hit that record. And I think he's got to break the receiving record to be considered MVP. And we were just talking about how Tua looked a lot more pedestrian without Tyreek Hill on the field, which I think helps his case of how powerful he is, right?
Here's where if we're deciding between CMC and Tyreek Hill, I think if Tyreek Hill can do it, if he can hit 2,000 in 16 games, I think you give it to him.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And how dare you do this, Alexander?
But you're right. This feels like a 3-way race to me between Dak Prescott, I guess Christian McCaffrey, and I think it's 2-way between Tyreek and Dak. Unless you want to start
taking CMC and Purdy out.
Purdy, I think the problem with the 49ers is they have Purdy, they have CMC, and they have Deebo Samuel. All three of those guys are so good together that it's like
Yes.
one doesn't stand
Good
out.
call, Kevin.
It's just like they're all too good right there.
Not for MVP, but I love Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans.
Jalen Hurts was close, and then Eagles got their butt kicked. Lamar, you can put in Lamar Jackson as a quarterback too, I think. His numbers though just aren't like eye popping. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, Chris.
He's got 740 rushing yards, and it feels like that's like low for him, which is a compliment to how good we expect Lamar to be.
If he goes to the Falcons, only if they get a new quarterback. They'd have to get a new quarterback.
Yeah, they got all the weapons there.
He does. He has a lot of weapons. See, because here's the problem. If I say this, like, it's going to come off as like a Brock Purdy hater, and I like Brock Purdy a lot. Like, I love his story. I think he's been playing out of his mind. I just think in this day and age, it's more impressive what CMC has done on the same team. And like, that's not taking anything away from Brock Purdy, but just like as a running back, also as a receiver, like the stats that he's putting up, like you could argue that team, like getting CMC has put them over the top. And Deebo Samuel's playing amazing. Brock Purdy is playing amazing. Like there's like the 49ers just a stacked football team. I just think that CMC is part of that engine that makes it go, because the 49ers can win without him. It's just, they just look so much better with him on the field.
Yeah, I'm trying to, where's his receiving yards?
Well, you make a good point about like Tyreek Hill as well. You know, and again, like how pedestrian Tua looked and all that stuff. It was a good call. It's a good call.
Yeah. See, Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins, they got to win some of these key games down the stretch.
Yes.
And Tyreek's got to have, you know, like he's got to have like 250-yard games, and he's got to kind of be the guy. You're like, oh, the reason the Dolphins beat. They still play the Cowboys
and the Cowboys
and the Ravens. Do they play?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they got to win those games, and Reek's got to be a part of that.
Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills.
Yeah.
So that's a tough schedule. Well, Benjamin, here's the problem, right? This is our interpretation of MVP. The voters are going to think something completely different. I mean, you know, that's why it's considered like a quarterback award, because those are usually who get it. And I think in a year where the QB play hasn't been godly, even though there are guys like Lamar, like Purdy, like Dak that are playing really well, in my opinion, like you give it to a guy like Tyreek or CMC this year.
Yeah. It should just be the MVQ. The most valuable quarterback, because that's like what the award is.
It really is.
And it's hard to argue against that, because the quarterback, it's the hardest position to play, and it's also everything goes through the QB. So unless you're a team like the Cleveland Browns, and I think Myles Garrett was having a nice case to be MVP as a defensive player for the first time since Lawrence Taylor. If they're going to give it to a defensive guy, he's up there in terms of who could get it. We were talking about Deron Bland for a second. So those are two guys to keep an eye on. I think Garrett has a chance. And now with Flacco dealing for the Browns, if they keep winning, and Garrett, but does he have to like finish as the sack leader? Or has he got to finish like top 3 as sack leader? Like they just look at sacks for those things, even though like his impact, he's always high. Where is he on sacks? He's up there. I got to go to ESPN.
Rose with a penny for the kitty. Listen, it's all right. We didn't get the Gatorade flavor, but at least it was still a good time. I got you. The pancreas. I got you.
It's not even tough.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
He's at 13. So he's got 13 sacks.
Yeah. Khalil Mack right now is top, right?
Yeah, because that 1 6-sack game.
Yeah. Like TJ Watt's still a monster. You know, and like Danielle Hunter has like been also one of the, like Brian Flores is getting a lot of credit, as he should. Danielle Hunter has also been on a tear. Like he's been real good this season. I say that as a begrudging Packers fan, recognizing that the Vikings do well sometimes. See, like that's also, I'm not gonna lie, that's part of my motivation as well. All the crap that running backs went through, and then if CMC like wins the MVP, like it's also like, hey, still matter. They still matter. Just
Oh, I
saying.
wanted to talk to you about one thing.
What do you got?
Back to your Packers game.
Oh God, why do we have to? Yeah, it's
Did
not me
you
being
think-
a Purdy hater. I want to be very quick because there are people who hate Brock Purdy for no effing reason, and it's stupid. It's the same thing with Dak. Like it legitimately, like we underplay it and stuff like that, blah blah blah. But like legit, Brock Purdy is playing MVP like level right now. If he's able to maintain that these next 4 games, you could give it to him. I would not have a problem with it. In my opinion, I think CMC is a little bit more valuable on that team. That's all.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think Dak's playing a little bit better.
Ooh, that might be.
He's got more fun he's got fun numbers, Dak
I don't
does.
know what that number is, but yeah, it could be. Could be.
That Saquon Barkley fumble.
Yes.
Do you think that's a fumble?
So, because you're
Like
saying
I get why they say he reestablished himself.
yeah.
But to me, looking back at that, I was like, he doesn't fall down if was it Savage who swiped his legs and like tripped him up a little bit there?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Savage.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
what were your thoughts on that?
real quick for this? When it hurts, like I like there was like 1 week I was like, yeah, it could be MVP. Like I wouldn't consider Jalen Hurts anywhere near that conversation.
Hurts
I
was
think
better
it's-
last year.
I think it's going to be tough. I think people are going to discount Purdy because of this, just like they were discounting Matt LaFleur, just like they were like, for any coach of the year nom because they had Aaron Rodgers. Because when you have a really solid squad of good coaching, good receivers, good running back, and good quarterback, it's always going to get a little bit muddled.
Yeah. And let's be honest, okay? Mike McCarthy, overly criticized head coach,
Accurate.
right? Dang it, I can't find it. Oh, fudge. Oh, here we go.
Call Kevin. Yes, Jordan.
But also Mike McCarthy is this guy.
It's like, like buttholes, everybody has them.
That was awesome.
Dak's doing it with that was awesome guy.
Yeah.
Purdy's
100%.
doing with people thinks, mad genius, Kyle Shanahan. Dak's playing.
All right.
well.
So yes, to answer your Saquon question, I do think he reestablished himself because there was a good amount of time. And it looked like I was confused. Like we all thought it was Daniel Jones because he just it seemed like he just tripped and fell. And it was not until I saw that other angle, I was like, oh, kind of gets like his foot grabbed a little bit.
Yeah,
but there's such a long period of time before him doing that and then falling that they just gave it to him. And I was like, I took it. I was happy with it.
Yeah, it made the game interesting. And obviously it worked out for the Giants. But to me, I'm like, I think that, in my opinion, that's a tackle. Because I don't think he trips up if Savage doesn't hit his legs, right? It's fine either way, but I thought it was just one of those interesting plays where it's like something you're not ever really talking about, and then you get that weird example of a play, and you're like, is that a fumble? Or was he actually tackled?
Evan, what a fake!
Bam.
For the kitty. Yeah, that's a hold on 1 second, Evelyn. Yes, I think it was the duration, like the amount of time that was between like the tackle attempt and that would make it a fumble. That's
and
why.
we were reminded the ground actually can cause a fumble, kids.
True story. It is true story. Don't touch them.
I thought it was really savvy by both the Packers, and I don't know if it was intentional, but they jump over him and not touch him at all, which saved their chances to recover the ball there.
Yeah, if only they didn't play 10 yards off, the receivers on that last drive in which Tommy DeVito didn't have to call a single timeout because it was just like, oh yeah, no, let's just play off. And apparently they're supposed to be on like man coverage. Great job, guys. Great job, Joe Barry.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know why coordinators do that. Where like your defense, they're playing
They're not
like
up a touchdown.
They're playing pretty good all game, and it's like this thought like we just can't give up the big play. Were you giving up big plays all game? Unless you were giving up big plays all game, then switch it up there. Like keep doing what you did for the first part of the.
Dude, like the Packers got no pressure on them. Wandale Robinson was running all over us. Saquon was running all over us. Tommy DeVito was running all over us. Like he didn't have to do anything crazy. He had that one really, really good throw to Hodgins, which was a touchdown. But like they didn't have to do anything crazy because like we just let him. Like they let him just do whatever they wanted, and it's
why I feel good about the Broncos. Like that same situation, Vance Joseph's blitzing 80 dudes. He's not going to care.
Yeah, and Wink Martindale did. He did a really nice job.
Don't blink. If you're a blinker, cut your eyelids off.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Purdy winds up getting it. And I think again, I would not have a problem with it. It was just me for CMC, but
Purdy's good.
I did not see it. I got to be honest. That's the first time I've heard of Depressed Ginger. I don't know who that is.
Is that the plagiarism video?
Yeah, I know because I saw it because I follow Jaguar Gator 9, so like I
Yeah.
know him. But yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't know.
Isn't it? It's like a very long video
Isn't it?
too.
I
I
think it's like
believe.
2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perna and I don't watch each other's content. Like we don't have time.
No.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So well, again, I don't think why do people hate Brock for the same thing? Because I think it's the 49ers. I think it's because like they're a good football team. They're like known as a good football team. It's just like why Dak is going to get discounted as well. So
Yeah.
And again, there is also 1,000,000% an agenda against like Brock Purdy in some, corners of the media. Like for whatever reason, wears a backwards hat. Like this is so stupid. Like it's so dumb. And I know it's just clickbait and rage bait and all that stuff. It's just dumb, man. So
Yeah, he's
I
good.
think that stuff leaks its way into like the general consensus and talk. And it's dumb. Because again, you have to remember who's voting for MVP. It makes a difference.
He's the next Tom Brady. It's that simple.
I do think the Seahawks are there. I mean, if they beat the Eagles, they're still alive.
Oh, they're so done though. They're not
But
good.
they have to beat the Eagles. Their last 3 games though after that are the Titans, Steelers, Cardinals. They're winnable.
Titans will work them. Who knows the Steelers by that time?
We'll see. His name
Seahawks,
does rhyme with
you're
turd.
paying
You know
your-
what? That's the best
pittance.
argument against it. It's true. Very, very, very true. So, pretty good. Pretty good. But Perna, what do you have coming out today, you beautiful man?
I saw you
Dude.
tweet about this.
I was so sad about that.
Yeah. I'm watching
sucks.
Men of a Certain Age right now, which is a really underrated show, and maybe I'm just watching it at the right time in my life.
Yep, I was about to
age-wise.
say there's definitely nothing deeper about that, but it's fine.
Boomer Hobbit, yeah, I get it. But like he's so good in that show, and I'm like, while I've been watching it, I'm like, he's my favorite character. Like he's so good. He's so
He's
good. And then I
phenomenal.
saw that yesterday, and I told Jess, and we were both like bummed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, he was a phenomenal actor, and like I know Brooklyn Nine-Nine is not like everybody's show. I only watched it once because I just never saw it like while it was airing.
Yeah.
And like he's phenomenal in it. Like he is like the heart and soul like of that with other like an amazing
Yeah.
cast, but he stands out of being so incredible.
He does comedy in such like a nice and unique way.
Yes.
Like it lulls you, and then boom, you're like laughing at what he's doing. So yeah, it sucked to see that because I was just like really acknowledging him as an actor. Like literally, I'm in the middle of Men of a Certain Age. I'm like, this is an underrated show. He's really fucking good in it. And then I saw that, and he's only 61. Sucks.
Yes, dude. And it's just a brief illness. Oh, it's just.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means yet.
I don't know either. It's just
Anyway.
it's sad, man. It's just freaking.
If you haven't
sad.
watched him, do it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
he's phenomenal in that.
pretty funny show, but he's great in it.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
What
what
do
do
you
I
got
have?
coming
Oh,
up?
power rankings. Yeah, I got.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, I'm not gonna have to worry about my Packers, am I?
no, didn't even think about.
Yeah.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Great. So great.
Question
So
is,
great.
how high do I put the Broncos, guys?
That's true. Definitely better than Nick Mullins.
How low do I put those fraudulent Chiefs? What do you got, Tom?
I'm waiting, Perna, for like the day where like you just get to a certain age or a certain mentality where you're like, you know what? I'm just done now. And like you just embrace like the boomer-esque and just like everything coming out is just the most wildest.
He's
thing
got
you've
no
ever heard in your life.
respect for the game.
Yeah. Just like, and I'm just like, Brendan, what are you talking about? He's just like, nope, that's it. Not like the good old days. I'm just waiting for it. Waiting.
I'll get there.
I know.
Once
think
I've made my
49ers
money, I'll get there.
49ers will win, I think, but I cannot wait for that game. I can't wait to stream
That's
it.
going to be great.
It's going to be so much fun.
I think
So
the
much
49ers win, but Ravens defense is just so under the radar.
I got predictions coming out in the next few hours, and then I will have the North Saga coming out as well. I just needed a break yesterday because I was like dead. I put out 7 videos on Monday, so I was a bit tired. I didn't go to bed till 4. Per and I were talking about that because like YouTube emailed you and was like, here's how many videos you put out and like all the numbers and analytics and stuff. And like it doesn't include the entire year. And I saw like Benchwarmer Brand put out like 130 or 40 videos. Like, damn, that's a lot of videos. And I was like talking to Perna, and it was like, what, 400 something? And I was like, let me check the email. It's like 753 videos.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I don't think
that's a lot of
streams.
videos. A lot of videos.
This is freaking more than 2 a day. So we working. But folks, we appreciate the hell out of you. We'll see you on Friday for another edition of GPS, and that will be at 11 a.m. Eastern, at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Also, Perna will be making an appearance on Saturday for the fundraiser for the Organization for Autism Research from 4 p.m. to midnight. Perna will hop in for 30 minutes and then go check out his stream as well. And we'll be streaming on Sunday night together as well. So,
yeah,
gonna rock.
Hell
but folks,
yes.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is a G, a P, S. And you have been navigated.
And you have reached your destination.